Alright, your ADF is jamming and it's not pulling in paper, or sometimes it pulls the paper in and it just stops and you're just having all kinds of problems with it. Generally these document feeders, they're very reliable. They don't break down often. When they do, most of the time it's just a good cleaning. And basically it's just sensors in there. There's an ADF feed belt, double feed prevention roller that needs to be replaced every so often. The double feed prevention roller was what I'm talking about, is this little roller right here. And then right here, you just take some lacquer thinner, acetone, alcohol, whatever you got, clean these rubbers. This right here, this belt, this should feel nice and dull. It should not feel slick. When it's slick, what you'll get when the paper goes to pull in, you'll hear this screech, screech. That's a great sign that that belt right there needs to be replaced. Now, as far as it jamming, and it doesn't look like it's jamming for any particular reason, just paper just goes in and stops. Most of the times it's a dirty sensor. These are paper-sized detectors up here, so if you go in and it's asking for a different size, a lot of times it'll be these, and it's just simply because of the atmosphere. You know, all the dust is settled down into these little sensors. Just take a Q-tip or a can of air, blow those out, and get them all nice and clean. Now you have two more right here, and they look down through these little slots right here. Now this is an updated modification for this machine because they were having quite a few issues. Right here is the old style, and you can see the difference right here. This one right here, it has the reservoir right there built into it, and you can see a little bit of paper lint in there. This one, what they did is they went right on through and put the reservoir down in this little blue panel, okay, right there. And then there's another one. All right, that really helps with the paper lint building up in these trays, and you can see all that paper lint. And what happens is the paper goes in, and because of that paper lint, it thinks it sees paper a little bit, and so it can give you that jam. Now I'll go over in a minute how to help with this old style. Now there's a few more sensors that you want to get to. So you'll lift up the document feeder, and then you'll take this cover right here and you'll just peel it right off. Okay. Now let me get my screwdriver. Now up here you'll see this black piece right here, and then there's also this little plate right here. Let me zoom in on that. I've already pulled one screw. There's one right there, and then you'll pull another one right here, and then this plate will come off, and right behind that plate there's some more felt. Okay, and you just take some air to that felt, and then you just put this back on, and it goes in just like that. Okay. Now you've got this other plate right here, and a good idea, well, let me tell you this first. Pull this screw right here, and then you'll want to be careful with this. You'll slide this out like this, but down here at the bottom you want to lift up on it just a little bit, and then just kind of wiggle it out. All right, because you want to be careful. Let me get something to pull it with. You want to be careful not to break that off right there, okay? Because that's what that little notch right there sticks down into, right there, just like that, okay? All right, so you pull this out. While you got it out, go ahead and clean these rollers. Clean these rollers. Now if you look on the back side, there's another little felt, okay? So you can take a can of air and spray those. So that one and the one on top, those are the ones that will give you a jamming problem. Now, a neat little trick, if you don't have the latest and greatest modification, is you can take a Sharpie and then you just go down in here and you just start drawing on it until you see it nice and black. And you can see, let me see if I can see the difference. See the difference where I took the pen? Okay. And that's going to make it a lot better as far as jams go. If you do those few things, the document feeder on this machine will run 100% better. You get that little squeaking noise, replace the RADF feed belt, that'll take care of the squeaking noise. If you do have a jam where the paper goes in and just stops and you've done all of this, you're probably going to have to call a service rep, because there's a gear back here on this gear right here, and it's on a shaft, and on the back side of that shaft there's another gear, and it's pressed on to that shaft. And what happens sometimes, because of the age of the document feeder, that shaft might crack, and so this will not get turned, and then it doesn't turn your feed tires. Alright, so if that happens, then you'll probably just have to call your local service rep to come over and get it repaired.